David Fincher has, for over 25 years, been one of the most creative directors on the market. A guy that is very particular about choosing his projects since he isn't the one actually writing them. His movies have always been great masterpieces, from Fight Club to The Social Network to Gone Girl. A couple of the movies he directed were pretty diverse, like Benjamin Button for example, but his movies mostly centered around psychopaths, if you will. Killers. You know, movies like Seven, Zodiac, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Out of 11 major movies he directed, 4 of them were completely about murder. And a couple had that idea on the side too. But still, he managed to make almost all of them, with the help of the writers, great masterpieces. So with his new movie that came out just a couple of days ago, Mank, that explores the life of a screenwriter despite the fact that David Fincher doesn't really have any screenwriting experience. Although his late father does, he is the one that actually wrote this movie. So it was pretty interesting to see what he could do with an artistic movie such as this one. I was really excited to see this movie. So let's jump right into it, shall we? Mank is directed by David Fincher, the legend, and stars Gary Oldman as Herman J. Mankiewicz, or Mank for short. It is in a way an homage to old Hollywood in the way they glorify it but also show its corruption. The movie is about screenwriters, Mank specifically, who is a depressed alcoholic, he drinks a lot, is in a race against time in the year 1940 and is trying to write and finish the script for one of the best moving pictures ever made in only 60 days. That is Citizen Kane. Mank mainly focuses on the ideas and the background for why Herman really wrote the movie. It wasn't as crazy in real life as the movie portrays it, but William Hurst, who was played by Charles Dance in the movie, was the main inspiration for how Herman came up with the movie. Charles Foster Kane, who is the main character of Citizen Kane, his birth, rags to riches, and ultimate downfall are mostly stuff that did happen to William Hurst in real life. Herman wanted to make this movie most likely, as the movie shows it, because William Hurst took him off the payroll for MGM. Yeah, kind of like that. So yes, one of the best films ever made was basically written as revenge, from Herman Mankiewicz onto Hurst. Mank is a very dramatic movie, but it has its funny moments too. In fact, Gary Oldman is basically a comedian in the movie.
People into theaters, but how? Show movies in the streets.
In real life, Orson Welles, who directed and starred in Citizen Kane, is credited with co-writing the movie with Mank. But as it is portrayed in the movie, not a single line of dialogue wasn't written by Herman. Yet still, Orson Welles did try to not give Herman credit for writing the movie. And he offered him extra money for that too.
In recognition of the outstanding work you've done so far, they're prepared to relieve you of the rewrite and still honor your full pay.
Although in the beginning Herman was okay with it, by the end he figured out that it really was his best work.
I want credit. That's the best thing I've ever written.
And so he asked Orson for credit in writing the movie. Orson got mad at first, but ended up giving it to him nonetheless in the end. Dare he not? He's the one that wrote it, for Christ's sake. Marion Davies, portrayed by Amanda Seyfried, was also an inspiration for the movie. In real life, she was kind of a mistress to Hurst that he met when she was 16, and he was quite old. But he fell in love with her. So that's not great. She plays a pivotal role in the movie, being side by side around Herman. That is in the flashbacks mostly. The movie flashes back and forwards between 1934 and 1940. 1934 is the time when Mank was at the prime of his career and starting to approach his downfall. Everything that happened between him, Hurst, and Marion Davies goes on mostly in that time. And 1940 is when he had a car accident and was stuck in a home with this lady, Rita Alexander, that is helping him write the movie since he is injured and depressed. By the end, the movie climaxes in a big showdown that took David Fincher more than 100 takes to finish. Always the perfectionist. Where Mank is telling a story in a big dining room with everybody famous in it, including William Hurt and Marion Davies. He tells the story of Quixote and how he compares it to the life of William Hurt, of course while drunk. It results in everyone leaving and Hurt telling Mank a story that compares their relationship together, while kicking him out of his place.
You've had a bit too much to drink, Herman. I'll get Raymond to drive you to the station.
The movie ends with a scene from the 1942 Oscars when Orson Welles and Mank won the Oscar for Best Original Screenplay.
And the winner of the Best Original Screenplay is Herman J. Mankiewicz and Orson Welles.
Which, by the way, was the first time either of them were nominated. Yet neither of them were present there, because they didn't care enough? Or I guess didn't think they were gonna win, maybe? And then an ending shot of Mank receiving the Oscar at his home and giving a speech saying that he wrote the whole thing alone without any help from Orson Welles.
This award in the manner in which the screenplay was written, in the absence of Orson Welles.
How come he shares credit?
Well, that, my friend, is the magic of the movies.
Herman Mankiewicz died in 1953 at the age of 55 from uremic poisoning caused by his alcoholism. Sad. Mank is a very well written and directed movie. Props to David Fincher's dad and David Fincher. But it would be really hard for anyone to understand the movie if they hadn't watched Citizen Kane, since the movie mostly revolves around that subject. I guess that's why some people are saying the movie isn't for everyone. But despite all that, Gary Oldman puts on a brilliant, hilarious performance in one of the few black and white movies of the past decade. David Fincher really did go through a lot of work to make the movie look old Hollywood kind of, and it actually shows. The movie actually has a lot of similarities to Citizen Kane. Although the movie does kind of become hard to follow at times, it's still really, really good. I certainly hope it gets a nod at the Oscars. For Best Screenplay especially. That would be ironic. All in all, I would certainly give the movie an 8 out of 10, with some sprinkles on top. Thanks for watching.